Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Searles and this is my Week 7 Multimedia Discussion Post for MPA 545, Conflict Resolution and Labor Negotiations for Professor James Curtis. In this week's post, I will provide 4 resources on conflict management and then later provide an example of a conflict that could occur in government as well as how it could be solved using a preferred dispute resolution design. I'll touch on articles written by Leslie DeChurch and Michelle Marks, as well as Alper et al., Bodker, AM, and Jameson, as well as Mike Clayton. My first resource is a journal article by Leslie DeChurch and Michelle Marks titled Maximizing the Benefits of Task Conflict, the Role of Conflict Management. This article generally talks about the influence of group conflict management on group effectiveness, as well as the moderating role of group conflict management on task conflict. From the study findings, we've learned the relationship between task conflict and group performance, that it's positive when conflict is actively managed compared to negative when it is passively managed. Similarly, task conflict improves group satisfaction when managed with agreeable behavior and harms satisfaction when neutral or disagreeable behaviors are used. The results from this study shows how group conflict management behaviors directly impacts group outcomes, relationships, and affects task conflict. The second resource is an article by Alper titled Conflict Management, Efficacy, and Performance in Organizational Teams. Here, the authors wanted to test the applicability of a conflict framework where they theorized that cooperative conflict is likely to induce high levels of conflict efficacy compared to competitive conflict management. As such, teams with high levels of conflict efficacy believe they could work together, effectively resulting in higher team productivity. The study found evidence that supports the reasoning that competitive conflict has a largely negative impact on conflict efficacy. I found this study interesting in the sense that very few articles highlight how conflict can be used to positively influence team productivity. The study highlights how we can use or even capitalize on our understanding of the differences between cooperative and competitive conflict and how they both affect team dynamics, including productivity. The third resource is a journal article by Bodker and Jameson titled Emotion and Conflict Formation and Its Transformation, Application to Organizational Conflict Management. This article mirrors what my second resource talked about in that conflict can be beneficial for groups and organizations. The paper describes the components of emotional experience and presents the argument that to be in conflict is to be emotionally activated. As such, the goal for the conflict manager is to successfully speculate under what circumstances is generating conflict more desirable than containing it, and then how to utilize emotion to do it. I found this article interesting in that it demonstrates what some scholars avoid talking about, and that is the implication of emotions in organizational conflict. The article demonstrates the utility of addressing emotions directly in the management of organizational conflicts. The last resource is a 3-minute educative video on conflict and conflict management. This video provides an overview of what we have learned about conflicts in class, and interestingly reiterates the fact that conflicts are inevitable in any organizational setup, and it can be either positive or negative in the organizational context. Ultimately, the video reiterates that it is a top-tier responsibility for a leader to effectively and respectively manage conflict. One of the conflict examples that I can think of is an interpersonal conflict involving 2 employees, one being a clerk and the other being one of the officials in the budget and planning department. The official has requested the clerk to help him compile, arrange, and print a stack of documents that are needed for preparation of the net budget cycle, which of course that's due in the next 2 weeks. This is not one of the tasks under the clerk's docket. The official keeps piling pressure on the clerk to finish up quickly so that he can start working on his part, bringing the two at a crossroads, with the official thinking that the clerk is not working fast enough, and the clerk thinking the official is not fully appreciating the amount of work involved. The dispute resolution design I would choose here is an interest-based negotiation. That will try to encourage cooperation, more so in terms of communication and the handling of tasks. For this conflict, I would handle it when it is still at the interpersonal level to bring the two parties together to collaborate given the tasks at hand. For the training, I would recommend soft skills training that focuses on problem solving and communication between employees. Once again, thank you for spending time with me this week. I look forward to hearing all of your discussion posts as well. I hope you're having a good weekend. Take care and God bless.